to my channel, sports fans. Okay, today we're going to talk about LeBron's 6 finals blowout losses. Okay, let's talk about this. LeBron's 6 finals blowout losses. Can this guy be considered even a top 5 player, the GOAT, or even a top 2 player, and he has 6 finals blowout losses? First of all, let's understand what a blowout loss is. To me, if you couldn't even take the series to a game 7, you couldn't take this is the king, right? With these super teams. He couldn't even take this series to a game 7 in neither of his finals losses. 4-1s, 4-0 he got beat, 4-2s, stuff like this. He never got to a game 7 in 6 finals blowout losses. That's why I call them blowout losses. They're not finals losses. They're blowout losses. And we already know 4-0 and 4-1s, those are blowout losses, right? What he had 2 4-1s, he had 2 4-0s, so that's 4 already, and then he had 2 4-2s, right? So let's talk about this. And you can see the image right here. This ain't got really nothing to do with the video, but it's an image that I made when I was battling these dummies in these groups back in the day, these debate groups. And, they consider the LeBron era bigger, faster, stronger, right? But the only dude that is bigger, faster, and stronger is LeBron James. And why is that? It's because he doesn't have a jump shot. Don't tell me he's shooting 40% from the field this year. We got to go on averages in his career. In 20 seasons, this guy has not had a jump shot. What's he shoot like? 30%, what was it? 37% from 2 in his career, and 34% for his career from 3. Don't give me some magical year he shot 45% from mid-range, right? And 41% from 3. We're talking about a career. So this is what he does. He goes and lifts all these weights, which it ain't nothing wrong with it. But we all know the league, once we got into the 2000s, it really started to decline. Power forwards and centers, as far as, being bigger, faster, stronger, all that declined. It declined. Right? So you can see LeBron's bigger, faster, stronger competition right here. Got your Tony Parkers, your Steph Currys, your Klay Thompsons, your Jason Terrys, your Manu, your Kevin Durant's, and I forget this guy's name, the little Puerto Rican dude that shut down LeBron in the NBA Finals. Him and Jason Terry to 8 points. Bigger, faster, stronger. Could you imagine? I want to get more into this video, but I'm just saying, could you imagine? JJ Barrera, that's his name. Could you imagine some of these guys that go back to their country, or if they live in the United States, whatever, and they're telling their grandchildren that they beat the GOAT? They beat him down. The dude he didn't even get to a game 7. Right? And people say, well, he took them to a game 7. That's what I mean. It took LeBron to take these guys like Curry, Duncan, and these guys like that to a game 7 just to beat them. He couldn't beat them, he couldn't sweep them. He couldn't beat them 4-1. He couldn't beat them 4-2. Yeah, he did that one time to the Baby Thunder. To the Baby Thunder. With his super duper team. And some people say that was rigged up. If you look at games, what was it? Games 5? Yeah. They wasn't calling fouls on Miami. That's a whole different video right there. People ain't ready to see that video. Right? So, could you imagine these guys saying that they beat LeBron, the greatest player ever, in the finals? Blew him out. Destroyed this guy's manhood. And they got his Tony Parker. Tony Parker has a finals MVP on him. Where's this other guy? He's not even in here. Iguodala has a finals MVP on him. So let's get to the main subject right here. Because LeBron has played all the way to 2024, right? So this is what they're trying to make it look like, especially since 2020, right? Like LeBron has played in this shooter's era all of his career. And that's why he got beat in the finals. Well, first of all, you're supposed to outshoot him, bro. Who was going to outshoot Michael Jordan? Nobody. Michael Jordan was a mid-range king in the second half of his career. My dude changed his game. He just knocking down these crazy, all-balanced, fadeaway, pump fakes, up and under. Just doing all these crazy shots that you going to get your bench. You will not. What did coach say? You can't take no shot like that. You can't take a shot like that and be hitting them. Jordan did it. He did it. He changed his game because he was no longer Air Jordan, right? So this is what they'll tell you. They'll be like, LeBron, he lost to all these guys in 6 finals because he played in a shooter's era. Is that right? LeBron played in a shooter's era. So when did this real shooter's era even begin? I don't think it was until like 2016, right? With the Splash Brothers, right? I wouldn't even consider 2015 a shooter's era. I really wouldn't consider that what they call this shooting era until we got to about 16. And then we saw that Steph and Clay was sitting on the perimeter at the 3-point line killing your dudes. But a lot of times they was coming off of picks and killing you. Until the game totally got more soft. Right? So let's rewind this and we'll catch back up to 2016 and the Splash Brothers, right? So when LeBron played and lost in the 07 finals, that wasn't a shooter's era. Nope. That was not this so-called shooter's era. This was this half-court game, and everybody was pretty much playing the same. Yeah, you had 3-point assassins on your team, but they was pretty much playing the same. A half-court game. Position basketball. They clogged the lane. So LeBron could not drive. And told him he had to shoot the ball. LeBron said, what is that? Shooting the ball. Brick. So he lost the 2007 finals to the Spurs, who played fundamental ball. Moved the ball around, got to the open guy, and had you looking like a fool. X's and O's. Fundamentals. Right? Something the Bulls played, something the Lakers played, something the 80s Celtics played. This is how it was in the NBA for a long time. You just could not do one of anything and win championships. You had to be able to have a dude in the post, in the paint, three-point shooting, mid-range shooting, because your game is going to get stale after a while, and your opponent is going to shut you down. Just like you just can't keep driving to the basket. It gets stale. They're going to shut it down. So that's why LeBron lost 4-0 or 0-4, however you want to say it. I'm saying 4-0 in favor of San Antonio, right? It was not nice. So we go to 2011, LeBron's first super team. It wasn't enough that he had, what did he have? 2 back-to-back MVPs and the best record in the league. That wasn't good enough. Why wasn't it good enough? Because we found out the guy cannot shoot. It just continued. 2008, he came out the finals where he lost. He faced his first super team in the Celtics, and he melted down, pooped all over the place. The media don't mention he shot like 35% from the field, like 20-something% from three, 60-something% from the free throw line. What? And was a minus poo-poo in the playoffs against the big three Celtics, the mighty big three Celtics, right? That LeBron will win back-to-back MVPs on. These guys couldn't even get an MVP. Garnett, Pierce, Ray Allen, they couldn't even get an MVP together. Yes, they went on to win the championship that year in 2008, but they couldn't even get an MVP, right? It was so great that it took all of them put together, all three of them, to be great. And like I said, the next year, 2009, 2010, LeBron won back-to-back MVPs against these dudes. None of them could win an MVP, and they was this super team. I just remember, on the Lakers in the 80s, the Celtics in the 80s, the so-called Jordan super team in the late 90s. These type of teams, that you had a player on those teams win an MVP. And LeBron had the best record 2 years in a row in the league against these guys who only won the conference one time, and they was together for like 5 years. Bro, if you're an idiot, all you got to do is dig this stuff up. The media is just lying to your face about his competition and about him melting down and him going to Miami, building this super team. Now you have 3 players that was top 10 players in the league at the time, and they got mollywopped by the Mavs. This was not a great 3-point shooting team. This was not the greatest shooting era of all time. Hell, the Heat have more shooters on their team from top to bottom when we go to starters to the bench. They have more shooters than the Mavs, right? LeBron gets mollywopped 4-2 after running his mouth and bragging and talking mess to Dirk. They was up 2-1 in the series. Shut up, dude. 2013. This was no shooting era. '14, no shooting era. Or should I say 12, 13. In 14, when LeBron lost again to the Spurs, fundamentals, X's and O's, the Spurs were pissed because the Heat barely won the year before. The Spurs shot a lot of mid-range. Yes, they shot threes, but they shot a lot of mid-range, and they played a lot of paint game. And they destroyed LeBron 4-1. It should have been 4-0. 2015, the Splash Brothers, show up on the scene, right? It was still not a shooter's league or a shooter's era. It was just the Splash Brothers splashing around. Just them two. Not the forward, not the power forward, not the center. Your two guards was splashing around. That's what they was doing. LeBron took a 2-1 lead, going back home, and pooped his pants the rest of the series. 39% from the field. What he had, like 3.9 turnovers or more, 60-something% from the line. What was it? 31% from three. It was a poo-poo fest. He lost Kyrie and he lost Love. They're garbage, right? That's what you guys say. How did he take a 2-1 lead going back home without Kyrie? Man, he scored 35 points a game, and he grabbed 10 rebounds and 8 assists, this type of stuff. It don't matter if your shooting percentage was 39%. "2016. I mean, was this the greatest shooting era of all time? 2016. No. Only thing people said was Clay and Curry was great three-point shooters. Look on that team. That team wasn't loaded with 4 guys sitting at the three-point line. They played based on X's and O's. They moved the ball around to the open guy. They played inside a lot of times in the paint with those guys. They just moved the ball around. Even back then, you just wasn't going to sit at the three-point line and shoot the ball like that. "2017, even with Kevin Durant coming, it still was not a shooter's era. LeBron had three-point shooters on those Cleveland teams. He got mollywopped in 2017 4-1 because he could not outscore Durant. Curry outscored who? I mean, not Curry. Kyrie outscored Curry. The Splash Brother, right? Clay and JR, they was even. And Draymond Green and Love was even in points. And they still lost 4-1 because LeBron couldn't shut down skinny, mini Kevin Durant. You know, the dude that's doing all these workouts. Whoa! Everybody else in the league is getting skinny. Malnutrition. Skinny. Because they're shooting the ball. They don't want to look like a freight train, a tank. Sports and fitness rants, like he always says. LeBron, a Jeep Wrangler, all clunky, coming down the lane. He looked weird on the floor. He's too big. This is when it started to turn into a shooter's league. So nobody wanted to be all big and clunky like that. It still wasn't this so-called shooter's era where 4 guys sit at the three-point line. 18. He lost 0-4, right? 4-0. Remember, he quit on the team in the fourth quarter. Only attempted 1 shot. Kyrie was garbage, right? At least he got LeBron 1 game in 2017. So, guy gets blowed out again because he can't shoot. We're going to let LeBron just drive to the basket and get his points, because if we try to even put our hands up, the refs are going to call fouls. What's it look like to your team when you can't shoot as a basketball player? How are they supposed to have any trust in you? And this guy went to 8 straight finals, and this guy can't even shoot? I didn't see 4 people standing at the three-point line. in 2018 when he took this butt whooping. They was moving the ball around. Fundamentals, X's and O's, like the 80 Celtics, like the 2000 Spurs. That's what the Warriors were doing. Fundamentals, baby. X's and O's. LeBron, his teams, we ain't got time for that. They play off of athleticism. You done heard people say his teams do not practice. And then when you little crybabies make up all these excuses, this dude got hurt, Kyrie got hurt, Love got hurt, Wade got hurt, because they don't practice. They don't practice. And they definitely don't practice the fundamentals. So this is your GOAT. 6 finals blowout losses. Couldn't even get to a game 7. And now they're trying to trick the dummies, the media, trying to trick the dummies, the LeBron fans, that LeBron got beat 6 times in a shooter's era. Tell me what you think. It's a lie.